Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is Alan Burgas from the hashtag WokwithLan channel. Welcome and welcome back to our channel. All right, so let us honor first our subscribers. They are now 8,335. So more or less, 3,000, almost 3,000, yeah, 3,835. It's almost 4,000. Okay, so thank you very much, and I hope and I pray that you are being blessed so that you can be able to bless others. And thank you very much for sharing your blessings through your time and watching this video or videos that we have. All right, so today we will be continuing our discussion with regards to RA 10173, which is the Data Privacy Act of 2012. Okay, which was signed by by then President Noynoy Benigno Noynoy Aquino III. Okay, so this time around we will be discussing about Chapter 8. So we are done with the 7 chapters. No, this one, Chapter 8, it's all about the penalties. Okay, so Section 25. All right. Sorry. Yeah. Section 25 says here that unauthorized processing of personal information and sensitive personal information. First of all, when we say unauthorized, of course, without authorization or without the approval of that particular person to process his or her information. Okay. Now, when we say personal information, this can be your PII, personable identifiable information. All right. Now, when we say sensitive personal information, this can be the PII or PHI. PII stands for personable identifiable information and personable health information. Okay, so with regards to insurances, with regards to your health records, etc. Okay, now letter A, this is the penalty. The unauthorized processing of personal information shall be penalized by imprisonment ranging from 1 year to 3 years and a fine of not less than 500,000 pesos, but not more than 2 million pesos, shall be imposed on persons who process personal information without the consent of the data subject. When we say data subject, that is the person who owns the information or the personal information, okay, or without being authorized under this act or any existing law. Of course, without any approval from the data subject, okay, it would warrant you 500,000 pesos to 2 million pesos, no? And then with imprisonment ranging from 1 to 3 years. Pwedeng kulong, kulong na, okay? Kulong na, and then may bayad ka. Kasi they use the end, no? So kulong at bayad, no? Pwedeng 500,000 yan, nagre-range yan between 500,000 to 2 million pesos. Nako po. Okay, letter B. Letter B naman, the unauthorized processing of personal sensitive information shall be penalized by imprisonment ranging from 3 years to 6 years. Meaning to say, sensitive. No, sensitive. You really do not want to share it. For example, your health records, okay, your laboratory records, etc. That you do not want to share it to others. Okay, or those people who have AIDS or HIV, they do not want to reveal their identity, something like that. Okay, all right, 500,000, but not more than 4 million pesos. This one is much more in comparison to letter A. Ito mas mabigat ito. Why? Because we are talking about sensitive information here, while here we are just talking of the personal information. That's the difference. Okay, now 3 to 6 years, 500 to 4 million pesos shall be imposed on persons who process personal information without the consent of the data subject or without being authorized under this act or any existing law. Okay. Section 26, accessing personal information. Yung A and B, okay, you process without the consent. Section 26, accessing personal information and sensitive personal information due to negligence, no? So parang ano lang, hindi mo sinasadya, no? That you were able to access, okay, that information, all right? And okay, you are the state or the that particular person can be able to sue you. Letter A, accessing personal information due to negligence shall be penalized by imprisonment ranging from 1 to 3 years and a fine of not less than 500,000 pesos but not more than 2 million pesos shall be imposed on persons who due to negligence, hindi mo sinasadya or ano lang, no? Nagkamali ka lang or nawalan ka lang ng wisyo, no? And then you were able to access that, no? Due to negligence, provided access to personal information without being authorized under this act or any existing law. If you are not being authorized by this Republic Act or any other law, no, for you to access, no? Ay nako, medyo mabigat. Okay? Letter B, accessing sensitive personal information due to negligence shall be penalized by imprisonment ranging from 3 years to 6 years and a fine of not less than 500,000 pesos but not more than 4 million pesos. 4 million shall be imposed on persons who due to negligence provided access to personal information without being authorized under this act or any existing law. Okay? Section 27. Improper disposal of personal information and sensitive information. Sensitive personal information. Ito naman in section 26, no? You were able to dispose, no? Okay, those information, no? Maybe without the authorization. The improper disposal of personal information shall be penalized by imprisonment ranging from 6 months to 2 years and a fine of not less than 100,000 pesos. Okay, so for example, you have a data, okay, of the passengers, for example, or of the patients, for example, but you were able to dispose it, okay, without any authorization for that matter. Okay, so whatever it is, okay, you can be sued and can be penalized with 6 months to 2 years. Yeah, not 100,000 but not more than 500,000 pesos shall be imposed on persons who knowingly or negligently dispose, discard or abandon the personal information of an individual in an area accessible to the public or has otherwise placed the personal information of an individual in its container for trash collection. Okay? Letter B. The improper disposal of sensitive personal information shall be penalized by imprisonment ranging from 1 year to 3 years and a fine of not less than 100,000 pesos but not more than 1 million pesos shall be imposed on persons who knowingly or negligently dispose, discard, or abandon the personal information of an individual in an area accessible to the public or has otherwise placed the personal information of an individual in its container for trash collection. Okay? Section 28. Processing of personal information and sensitive personal information for unauthorized purposes. The processing of personal information for unauthorized purposes shall be penalized by imprisonment ranging from 1 year and 6 months to 5 years and a fine of not less than 500,000 pesos, but not more than 1 million pesos shall be imposed on persons processing personal information for purposes not authorized by the data subject. If the data subject, that is the person whom we will process the information, will not authorize you or otherwise authorized under this act or other existing laws, no? Yari. Okay. Next paragraph. The processing of sensitive personal information for unauthorized purposes shall be penalized by imprisonment ranging from 2 years to 7 years and a fine of not less than 500,000 pesos but not more than 2 million pesos shall be imposed on persons processing sensitive personal information for purposes not authorized by the data subject or otherwise authorized under this act or under existing laws. Okay? So kahit hindi mo sinasadya, no? When you do process, okay, without any authorization, okay, you might be penalized. Okay. Section 29, unauthorized access or intentional breach. The penalty of imprisonment ranging from 1 year to 3 years and a fine of not less than 500,000 pesos but not more than 2 million pesos shall be imposed on persons who knowingly and unlawfully or violating data confidentiality and security data systems breaks in any way into any system where a personal and sensitive personal information is stored. Section 30, concealment of security breaches involving sensitive personal information. The penalty of imprisonment of 1 year and 6 months to 5 years and a fine of not less than 500,000 pesos, but not more than 1 million pesos, shall be imposed on persons who, after having knowledge of a security breach and the obligation to notify the commission pursuant to Section 20F, intentionally or by omission conceals the fact of such security breach. Okay, so for example, if you belong to a company and you were able to know that there is a security breach already, okay, there's a security incident or a security breach already, and then you did not report this to the commission. When we say commission, we are referring to the National Privacy Commission. You did not report, you are part of the, okay, you are part, you might be sued, no? Okay, because you are violating this Section 30 or the concealment of security breaches involving sensitive personal information. Okay, Section 31, malicious disclosure. Any personal information controller or personal information processor or any of its officials, employees, or agents who with malice or in bad faith discloses unwarranted or false information relative to any personal information or personal sensitive information obtained by him or her shall be subject to imprisonment ranging from 1 year and 6 months to 5 years and a fine of not less than 500,000 pesos, but not more than 1 million pesos. No, we are talking lots of money here. No, that's why you should not do this crime, or you should not do, or you should not violate, no, this particular act. Section 32, unauthorized disclosure. Any personal information controller or personal information processor or any of its officials, employees, or agents who discloses to a third party personal information not covered by the immediately preceding section without the consent of the data subject shall he subject to imprisonment ranging from 1 year to 3 years and a fine of not less than 500,000 pesos, but not more than 1 million pesos. Any personal information controller, personal information processor, or any of its officials, employees, or agents who discloses to a third party sensitive personal information not covered by the immediately preceding section without the consent of the data subject shall be subject to imprisonment ranging from 3 years to 5 years and a fine of not less than 500,000 pesos, but not more than 2 million pesos. Section 30. Section 33, combination of series of acts. Any combination or series of acts as defined in sections 25 to 32 shall make the person subject to imprisonment ranging from 3 years to 6 years and a fine of not less than 1 million pesos, but not more than 5 million pesos. Okay, so combination of series of acts. Ito yung penalty mo, 5 million pesos max. Section 24, extent of liability. If the offender is a corporation, partnership, or any juridical person, the penalty shall be imposed upon the responsible officers as the case may be, who participated in or by their gross negligence allowed the commission of the crime. If the offender is a juridical person, the court may suspend or revoke any of its rights under this act. If the offender is an alien, when we say alien, no, he or she is not a Filipino citizen, no? Hindi ito yung alien na alam natin, no? He or she shall, in addition to the penalties herein prescribed, be deported without further proceedings after serving the penalties prescribed if the offender is a public official or employee and and lie, or she is found guilty of acts penalized under sections 27 and 28 of this act, he or she shall, in addition to the penalties prescribed herein, suffer perpetual or temporary absolute disqualification from office as the case may be. Okay? So here, guys, no, suffer perpetual or temporary absolute disqualification from office, no? Ito, may ano to kasi merong may isang public official, no? Nakatakbo pa to ng congressman, nanalo pa yata, no? Nanalo pa siya. Kasi meron siya parang doon, disqualification from office, not elective office. Parang yun yung contention niya, no? Magaling yung lawyer. Ito, office ito, yung appointive office, no? Ibig sabihin, hindi ka na pwedeng ma-appoint perpetual or temporary absolute disqualification. Ayan, hindi ka na pero pwede ka pang tumakbo as congressman, as mayor, or any elective office. Yan, ganun. I don't know. Pero hindi pa final yun, no? Pero nilusutan ng mga lawyers yan, no? Yung office na yan. Okay. Now, section 35, large scale. The maximum penalty in the scale of penalties respectively provided for the preceding offenses shall be imposed when the personal information of at least 100 persons is harmed, affected, or involved as the result of the above mentioned actions. For example, no, because of your because of what you have done, no, siguro more than 100 people nawalan ng pera because of that, no? No, because of that, you belong to the section 35, which is the large scale. Section 36, offense committed by public officer. You know, when the offender or the person responsible for the offense is a public officer as defined in the Administrative Code of the Philippines in the exercise of his or her duties, an accessory penalty consisting in the disqualification to occupy public office for a term double and a term of criminal penalty imposed shall be applied. Okay, so madodoble siya. Section 37, restitution. Restitutions for any agreed party shall be governed by the provisions of the new civil code. Okay, sige. That's it. Thank you very much. Next meeting, next time around, we will be discussing about chapter 9. Okay, so we are done with chapter 8, which are the penalties. All right, that's all for today. Thank you very much. Shout out to my former colleague, no, Engineer San Agustin, no, Engineer San Agustin from Our Lady of Fatima University. Mabuhay ka, brother. Mabuhay ka, sir. No, thank you very much, and please subscribe to his channel, no, Engineer San Agustin, Ricardo San Agustin. Author pa yan ng book, no? Magaling na tao yan, mabait na tao. Alright, mabuhay ka, no? Pagpalain ka ng buong may kapal. Maraming salamat, brother. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Hanggang dito na lang po. Maraming salamat po sa panonood. Kung hindi ka pa nakapag-subscribe, kaibigan, hindi na ako mahihiyang magsabi sa iyo na because of your subscription and viewing of this video and videos that we have, okay, will help us or will help the channel to be sustained. Thank you very much. Mabuhay po kayo. Bye-bye po. God bless po.